Thank you, Fal. Now, the first topic we're going to discuss today has to do with the infancy of self-driving cars as technology and how it poses a lot of problems and huge safety concerns regarding the lives of people in and out of the car, as well as the environment. With self-driving cars, it requires a system that is supposed to be able to compute and process the countless possibilities of outcomes on the road. Just like we as humans have to do, the computer software within the self-driving car needs to be able to do the same. And so far, many of those systems have failed in testing in order to bring out the safest possible outcome and safest possible route in order to reach a destination. Also, due to how complex the system is within the self-driving car, it makes it more prone to malfunction and error. An article written in 2019 by technology.org talks about how complicated a self-driving car's system is and just how many computers are actually inside of these self-driving cars. It states, most self-driving cars are made up of not one, but 30 to 100 computers. That is a lot of technology that could go wrong. And it's true. Imagine one malfunction in the computer system of a self-driving car that leads to a huge cascading effect that completely damages either the infrastructure of the car, causing it to malfunction, or creates enough errors where the system can no longer calculate the safest possible route, and thus causes an accident or an injury, or even worse, death to the passengers in and out of the car. If such an accident were to happen, and by the way, earlier stated in the speech it has, it's very scary to think about having those self-driving cars on the road, just by that fact alone. And the other problem that can be seen is that there's no safety blanket for the road in order to deal with these self-driving cars. What do I mean by that? Well, having a self-driving car on the road right now would actually pose a bigger problem to the road as well. And that's because the roads right now are engineered to be driven on by manually driven cars, manually driven by humans. And to introduce self-driving cars without accommodating them and changing up the road so that they can, accommodate to those self-driving cars really puts them in a bad spot and makes the roads more dangerous than they should be. There was technology tested that could be helped in helping identify self-driving cars, as well as helping the self-driving cars identify problems on the road, such as potholes or hazards along the road. But those technologies and those systems have not been proven to be effective enough. And so because of that, the roads themselves would end up being less safe as well. The biggest solution for the technological side of self-driving cars would probably be testing. Testing. We need to do more tests in order for self-driving cars to even be approved for driving on the road. Now, in terms of testing itself, you could have a system in place where the first thing you do is test it in an isolated situation out of harm's way from humans, and have it constantly and continuously observed to collect data and to improve the system so that it has a very, very low risk of harm to humans. From there, once it's approved, it can be moved into a situation where humans are now in play, as well as a variable environment, and then from there you can move it to the mainstream where it can finally be sold on the market. But other than that, those technological setbacks and problems with the current technology being introduced cause self-driving cars to really seem as if they're not ready for the road yet and should not be on the road, at least until those problems have been solved. And now we're going to talk about the security breaches that are possible with self-driving cars in its software.